And we're live.
The carpets again and again as our sanity walks away. All this discussion.
God damn it!
It's never going to get to the chorus, Gary.
Yeah, we're at a minute and 5 seconds in. Ed Kalaswalik.
I gotta say, I kind of like that bass line a little bit. That's not that bad. Yeah, that's it's not bad.
That's, you know, it's the live bass guys. Some of his middleist work. So.
I don't know that I'd ever heard that song before. What song did you favor us with there? What is that?
White Discussion.
As any discussion about live would be.
Yeah, from Throwing Copper. It's like the weird when a band has an unexpected album hit and they start like dredging for singles.
Mm-hmm.
Like that happens.
Oh yeah.
So it's that. It was not. It's like their like fifth single from that record.
Yeah, trying to flood the Total Request live chamber.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you be a little bit louder for me? I feel like I my speakers blasting a little bit and then get a little fuzz.
I can try. However, my my interface is completely maxed out right now.
Oh, okay.
On this, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's entertaining radio as I.
Hey, people in the chat, how am I coming through? Oh well.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I can hear you just fine. I'll just listen harder.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's going on today, man?
Nothing. I just woke up, ate some food, watched YouTube, went and did this. Like literally nothing. It's the beginning of my day. How about you?
Nothing. Had a full day of pod work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people can probably see. Change the background here. Move my desk around.
Yeah.
Right before this, I had to rush to get these curtains up because I didn't realize how bright the essentially midday sun was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm completely washed out. But
yeah.
That's really all that's up.
Oh.
Yeah. Boring. What you been playing recently? I know we don't normally do that, but I'm just kind of curious. Anything up for a show?
Yeah, I'm getting ahead on show stuff. So I've been playing. I'm playing Comrade games, which are for show stuff. But that's almost done because I think we're gonna take a break for a while. When I go on vacation, we're gonna do an off episode. I'm playing games for that to record tonight. And then for Funzos, I did another run up at playing Stalker.
Okay.
Which I've bounced off of before, but I'm gonna try to actually get into.
Yeah.
So I'm a few hours into that, and that's fun. That's a good game. And then I started put a game on the portable that I haven't beat yet, but I wanted to put some actually finally beat, which is Order of Ecclesia.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, which is it's like secret best DS Castlevania.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's kind of barely a contest. I feel like.
Yeah.
And I like Portrait of Ruin is pretty good, but I don't know.
I think some fuzz coming through on your audio.
That's weird.
Yeah, some kind of distortion and like sounds.
One moment.
Coming through. I don't know if anybody in chat can confirm or better articulate that.
Let's see here. How about
that? It went away for a second. The fuzz was really loud for a minute. Whatever you were adjusting.
Yeah. How about now?
Now you sound fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And then I can turn you down now a little bit. Now it's better.
Okay. Yeah. This is just man. This audio interface that had it for 6 years now. Even bought it used there. I think it might be on its last legs.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I just had to switch the input.
Yeah.
No, I really love Order of Ecclesia. Like that kind of like stage-based approach is really good for a portable system like that.
And it's hard.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, which is good because none of those games are hard. The entirety of like the Igarashi like Castlevania stuff is pretty easy. I just played through Symphony of the Night for Funzos, and that's really easy.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of refreshing to have one that you actually have to think to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I've been kind of down lately, and when that happens, I tend to like curl up on a couch interminably and play like a visual novel kind of thing. So I finished up Steins Gate
Yeah.
last night actually, and that was good. Gary, you would fucking hate it so much.
It I read a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point, like I think that genre just might not be for me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just the things that are annoying about it are more annoying than the things I like about it.
Yeah.
It's just in the scales. Like it's not like there aren't things to like. Even the ones that I would hate the most, there are probably things I would like.
Mm-hmm.
But just I have to get through too much stuff I really don't like.
Yeah, I can't see you brooking
Yeah.
some of the stuff that goes on in that. So that is my official stay away from it.
You put those things in a centrifuge and just like put all that stuff to the outside.
Yeah, just like bring
Cut it off,
in bring in the really cool like time travel story. Like
get to the chase. Everything. Media.
Everything doesn't matter. This isn't a priority question, but this is kind of in line with the discussion here. We had somebody on the Q&A ask if we'd ever played Harmony of Dissonance. I didn't play, so the only Game Boy Advance one that I played was Aria of Sorrow, and that was the last one on the Game Boy Advance. I never did Harmony of Dissonance or Circle of the Moon.
I've played all of them, but I never beat Harmony of Dissonance. I beat Circle of the Moon. I beat Aria of Sorrow, or the first DS one with Bishonen Boy, and you draw the glyphs.
Yeah, that was Dawn of Sorrow.
Dawn of Sorrow.
That was a direct sequel to Aria of Sorrow.
Yeah,
where you play
and then I played Aria of Sorrow. Those are the 3 that I've beat. All the rest of them I've played but not beat.
Yeah,
because they're impossible to put down. They're really walkthrough resistant because they're mildly nonlinear. So if you put one down and forget where you're at, like you're just kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Forever. Which happened to me with Circle of the Moon enough so that I had to start over to play it.
Oh, that's
so it sucked. Yeah, I had some kind of new verb, but I couldn't find where to use it, and just ended up like sweeping the castle many times over, and it sucked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let me know if you end up covering Dangerous Golf. On Comrade, because I have that. I'm not quite sure what I think.
I would like to do it. It looked fun to me.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun in a burnout kind of way. I think the stuff that holds it back is technical. I talk about it on the level a little bit, but like just the loading times are fast, or not fast. They come fast and often.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. But
yeah. There's Comrade is definitely the show right now where there's too much stuff to do. Like there are a lot of things I want to do, and we just do 4 games a month. So it's not. There's a lot of stuff I'm not getting to.
So now that you've done that for a couple of years, like there's never really been a slowdown in like viable stuff to do. Like
There never will
year,
be.
right?
There's stuff we missed too.
Yeah.
Like now for the new episode, we're doing 2 things that came out like a couple months ago that we wanted to do then. We're recording tonight, and then I think after that, I think we're gonna do 80 Days, which is like that's been out forever.
Oh Jesus, that is a great game.
Yeah, but it's really good. Yeah, see visual novels. Why can't you be a visual novel like this? Like you can use your forces for good. But yeah, we're gonna do that and something. But it's and that's really old, So the fact that we're indie moves so quick that we can do something that's 3 years old and still have it be worth talking about and kind of looking at like that. So
yeah. Name. Oh, one thing about Steins Gate that you're gonna love, that you would love. There's one of the plot points is that one of the changes that you make to the past eliminates all Moe culture from Tokyo.
Oh wow! Isn't your mission to go back and change at all costs?
No, it's
like we must bring it back.
we must rescue Moe.
Yeah, is that? Or does the game just end in a state of the world where there's no Moe?
The novel cannot continue.
Yeah, eventually it just crashes to black screen. Like you get a blue screen error.
Oh no, the art style changes. Yeah. Everybody's eyes get real small.
Everyone morphs. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just it's an unintended consequence, and it's meant to show like, whoa, the world has really changed this time. I don't know if that's a spoiler or
I can't
anything.
even imagine a world without Moe.
Yeah.
I mean, the priorities of the writer, that's what they used to show that the world had changed a lot.
Well, it takes place in Akihabara, where
Yeah.
all that stuff is, and just kind of like, oh, here's this, and they're poking fun at that stuff the whole time too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Want to get to some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Corbin writes, "How old does a game have to be considered for WAF treatment? Also, any tips to make my beard as magnificent as yours?" So games for WAF, I think it's either last console generation or 5 years.
Yeah, I didn't know we had a year cutoff for
What's
things.
that?
I thought it was just. I didn't know we had a year cutoff. I thought it was just last console generation.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's
outside of the current discussion.
yeah, that's true. I think that's kind of what I said publicly way back when we decided to do oh gosh, Dark Corners of the Earth. Actually,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh well, it's last console generation, etc.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I
But yeah,
think
outside of the current discussion, go ahead. Sorry.
they just did Retronauts just did a listener mail episode where they got a very similar question, and they were just like, it doesn't, defining it doesn't matter that much because these games don't get, like, you're not just going to find it you're not going to find it anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no anniversary or re-release or anything like that. No one's going to talk about this stuff.
Mhm.
So at the very, like, it's just valuable and a place to hear about those things, even if it is something relatively new. Like, there's only one other podcast I've ever heard that did like an examination of Dark Corners of the Earth, and that had been like years before we did.
Yeah.
So it, like, didn't matter too much that it was new. It was just that, like, it was something that wasn't being talked about anymore.
Yeah. It's a branding problem more than anything. Like, we say it's retro, but I think that for a lot of people, retro means, well, it came out when I was 12.
When they were a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really a word for just like not current. It's like the second run theater, or like an art theater that shows like second run and then also old stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
There's not really a word for like just not current.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Not contemporary, any of those. Yeah. I feel like we get a lot of beard questions.
Yeah. I don't do anything. I just it just happens.
Yeah. Weight.
Yeah. And it can, your face, the parts where you will get hair can change. When I was a mid to late teen, little connectees from between my mustache and goatee wouldn't grow. And then I kind of looked silly that way, but eventually they did.
Mhm.
And then I have friends, like my friend, one of my closest friends, could not grow a beard at all. And eventually, like, his cheeks, where it would just be scrabby, it just kind of changed. And it was like when he was like 26, like well after puberty. I don't know what property changed it or what new chemical was in his blood to make that change, but like, it happens.
Yeah.
So
Some kind of weird like BPA comes in, gives him a minor case of monsterism.
yeah, he drinks out of a non-approved plastic cup and gets chemical chains or something like that. But it will change. So it may or may not happen, but it might happen. Hope until you die.
Good way to fake. Good way to fake it. As weird as it's going to sound, a beard that is of relatively uniform length will look a little bit better. Not like overly groomed, but like if you're having trouble with it, don't be afraid to get like a trimmer and hit all of that and let it grow uniformly. Also, beard brush, get like a badger hair thing, and then just feels great. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Greg writes, someone who does their own retro game podcast, founder and co-host of the SNES podcast, I'm curious to hear about your research methods for your shows. It's interesting to me, at least, contrasting episodes from our podcast on the games that we both covered, and it gives a big list there. And I try not to cover games that you already have, since you do such a damn good job at them. When preparing to talk about these, do you listen to podcasts that already cover the game? Do you check out reviews? Do you look at YouTube, interviews, anything like that? If you could talk about your process and getting ready to cover a game for a show in detail, that would be great and very informative, and perhaps helpful to me in doing my own show. Mostly talking about WAF there, but also wants to hear about, like, hey, if there's anything else for these other shows on the network too.
Yeah, lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we, you play it, which is the biggest thing.
Yes,
because that's the most important thing that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started Wikipedia because I want to know the stat block, like the year and the people who created it.
Mhm.
And then I will usually, I always look at the cutting room floor, which is tcrf.com, which is a website about cut content in video games because that's interesting to me. And then I will usually Google the game, just the name of it, and look at the first couple pages and see if there is like a post-mortem or something like that.
Yeah.
Because reviews or just kind of like a Brady Games like write-up or something like that are not that useful. But if someone has done a post-mortem or if there's a Hardcore Gaming 101 article
Yeah.
or something like that, that's really good. And then game facts I always look at because somebody has probably obsessively chronicled like all of the weird mechanical things I didn't do.
Mhm.
And then finally, I will try to watch a speed run if I play the game really soon. If I can, it's not too long. If I played the game a long time ago.
Right.
And then, so like, for example, we're doing Deus Ex. I beat Deus Ex a while back because I'm getting ahead because of travel. And before we actually record that episode, I will watch a speed run of it just to
Yeah.
like see all the areas and remind me of things.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned Hardcore Gaming 101 because that is a great resource, I think, for like general overviews of stuff. Wikipedia is big. People have accused us of just being like a Wikipedia regurgitation station, but like that is a great place to find kind of secondary sources to read about like the development of the game, honestly, to find, interviews and things like that. Weirdly enough, and we've made fun of this site in the past, but like it's a really good just kind of like quick source for like trivia and things like that, or maybe like things I may have missed when I played the game. But TV tropes actually,
Mm-hmm.
just as like an exhaustive, obsessively compiled wiki that often has a lot of trivia or a lot of just things that are found off in the corner of these things. And I
If you,
use that to supplement the notes.
yeah, if you take everything on there with like a grain of salt.
Yes.
Like if like literally everything is just kind of like they will usually point out things that are noteworthy and then do it for reasons that make no sense to me.
Mhm.
And then you
It's
just have
always
to
somebody's
like
fetish.
yeah, or just like something somebody thinks is scary that's not remotely scary, or
That's weirdly gotten a lot better.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they've shunted all of the kind of subjective stuff, quote unquote, off to either their own side pages or onto other wikis entirely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, still, this is user submitted content, but like it's gotten easier to not like they basically have eliminated this troper shit off of this
No,
entirely. So
well, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Hardcore Gaming 101 is a treasure.
oh god, yeah.
That website's one of the best websites.
Hmm.
The if anybody's not familiar with it, it's really great.
Yeah. Their books even like
Yeah.
the Castlevania source is great. I love the graphic adventures book. Like that
I
is
I
good.
read that 700-page graphic adventure book page to like cover to cover. It's amazing. Like it was just like, nope, I'm gonna read about like 500 adventure games, and it's really really good.
Yeah.
Well written and exhaustive, and like gives you kind of a grand context
Yeah.
for shit.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, that's really it. Because like the primary, like all those things, and I don't spend hours and hours doing all those things either, because I just played the game,
Right.
So like that's the most important part of it, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, and like the generality stuff, like that is stuff that I put into the notes at the start, and that's compiled from on the fly observations about the systems and things like that, and then kind of like that's where any kind of cursory historical research goes. Also, if people like point something out and they'll run up to a game, like people get excited when we announce they're playing their favorite, like they tend to point us towards sources as well. So, yeah.
Abject Suffering, the only like Abject Suffering, I also do like a smaller version of this, so I do all that stuff but quicker. I always watch a speed run on an Abject Suffering game, and then because I want to see the end boss because I'm never gonna see it for not
Mhm.
playing it, and then game backs is more important because we do game back stuff on it, so
Yeah.
it's very similar.
Yeah, Wikipedia also Moby Games as just kind of like a big database of who's worked on what
Yeah.
is really valuable as well. I found a lot of like Crick secrets there. You
Mhm.
know, just the teams behind these games are pretty easy to find. I usually look at the credits for a game as well.
Mhm.
Basically making myself sound like the creepiest private detective in the world
Mm.
right now. But yeah, GameFAQs is a big one. I also I haven't found an awful lot of good stuff on this, but like Amazon reviews, I keep on hoping there's going to be something in that well.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I want that too. Like, because there's one of my favorite thing on the How Did This Get Made podcast is they're like 5-star anime reviews of terrible movies, and I keep expecting that, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not very robust reviews on there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's mostly people who want to write professional reviews and take their track record there very seriously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. Frederick writes, if Duckfeed.tv had a game like Penny Arcade, sorry
about
the-
this.
Oh, there we go.
What's our,
Yeah, so for
This is my,
Corbin and
yeah.
for Greg. Oh,
My-
you got the yarn Yoshi?
yeah, I got a pink yarn Yoshi.
Nice.
So yeah, I apologize for those delayed kisses.
Hey Gary, I lost
Yeah.
your video for a second. Okay, you're back.
Yep, you were gone for a second too.
Weird. Frederick writes, if Duckfeed.tv had a game like Penny Arcade, parentheses, sorry for the example, what would it be called and what kind of game would it be?
Be a JRPG called Duckfeed on the Rain Slick Precipice of Darkness.
Putting a little bit of thought into this, I think it would be a walking simulator exploration thing with some light amnesia style kind of like pursuit mechanics, and it would be Crick 2000.
It'd be doing the Crick 2000 game is probably a good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that would work in a bunch of other fixtures and stuff.
Yeah,
like one of the leaders of the resistance would be Dan Davis, captain of the football team,
like
etc.
factions.
Yeah.
I mean that would be fine. It would be like we should never do that though.
Oh no,
because it'd be really a self-indulgent thing. Like the only reason, like I love the wiki,
Mhm.
but again, if we had done the wiki, I think it would suck.
Yeah.
Like if we were just like, look at all our funny in jokes that we made,
It's bad enough that we keep them alive, honestly.
Yeah, like or the jokes. Yeah, yeah, we should come up with new jokes. They're like, let's our homework. Come back with 5 new jokes. Yeah, but if we had made that game, it would feel really self-indulgent to me. I think, and then if somebody else had made it, it would still be like it could be cute, but yeah, I don't know. I think it would be fun to do like something that like a where it isn't about us, but it's about like a sim thing where it's like it's a new show on the network, and then you and I could be like the Will Wrights in the SNES version of SimCity. Like you just kind of come out and explain like a regular schedule is important, and make little animations, and then the person just makes their show and names it and does this like little sim thing.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun. Kind of cutie.
Yeah, we talked about that before too, like what the management game version of podcast networks would be.
Yeah. They made there's a YouTube one.
YouTuber's Life, is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Yeah, I watched a YouTuber play a little bit of YouTuber's Life. And it's pretty excruciating. What's interesting about it though is that it really underlines the fact that is a market for and by kids.
Yes.
Like the YouTuber's Life that you do, like it's not just about making like Let's Play Screamer videos. It is about balancing that with homework. Like there's not a way to play it as not somebody who still does like homework in high school, who lives with their mom. That's the game. Like,
and
it's really weird.
That's not like a holdover from like Life Sim, kind of like Japanese RPG kind of stuff, or
I mean, I don't know. Maybe like you, but the game where you symbolize being or you pretend to be like a PewDiePie, you start out living with your mom, balancing your things with homework. Like, so it skews very youthful.
Yeah, that makes me feel like a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is super strange. And the person who I watched Northern Lion play it, who's a YouTuber, I like some from time to time, who is like 27 or something like that, and he felt weird about it too. He was just like, yeah, I haven't lived with my parents for forever, but it's just like that's the market. That's YouTube kids, and that's when you, again, like I've said this before, but that's why I try not to waste too much energy getting mad at those people.
Oh no,
it's like, oh, just, it's for kids.
Yeah,
and same thing like when we like we'll go to a convention or something like that, and then like people show up at our panel, which is great, but then there's a line around the block for YouTube Boy, like Peanut Butter Boy, and it's like, oh, it's because Peanut Butter Boy is for kids. Like,
Yep.
not in a mean way. It's just like it's a different market. He's the Wiggles.
Mhm.
You know, good for him. Like the world needs a Wiggles.
Yeah. The world needs Wiggles.
Yeah, Mars needs Wiggles badly. Blue Wizard needs Wiggles. But yeah, like
You're just like devouring them feet first.
well, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor.
Why do you know a Wiggles song?
I know that's an old song from my like kindergarten days. I imagine that's probably
Oh.
too old for the Wiggles.
Yeah. No, I remember somebody doing that at on stage. Like they had like a snake sleeping bag that they slowly pulled up. Like,
Oh.
oh heck, it's up to my neck kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like it was like preparing us. Like, okay, if you're ever in this situation,
Yeah. And they pulled down the sleeping bag. There's just a skeleton there. It's like, yeah, just a sleeping bag that like disappears your flesh.
yeah, they were from the big blanket lobby.
Yeah. Yep.
We need to
Yeah,
sleep in a sleeping bag tie.
That's all the servants or cultists in service of Big Blanket, the creature. Big Blanket.
Oh man, from the big red couch territory.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're lovers.
Michael asked, what are your plans for after you finish Dark Souls 3 on Bonfireside Chat? Are you going to do one last off season? And if so, what games are you going to cover?
We have 2 seasons planned after
Mhm.
that, and that's assuming no one else, From doesn't make another Souls like. We're going to have a pretty lengthy season on Souls likes because a bunch of them have come out that we haven't covered, and more of them are coming out.
Right.
So like lots of games, we're doing a couple episodes on them. Like I played through Salt and Sanctuary. Like with the number of bosses, like we might be able to fit that into 2 episodes. I think 3 is probably more likely. With that, Hyper Light Drifter will need an episode.
Mm-hmm. Mononoke or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, Mamadora 4. I want to do because that game is my favorite Souls like game so far.
Mm-hmm. It might not be a bad idea to cover to cover Order of Ecclesia for that. Actually,
that's not too bad. Like if we wanted to do, that's a little bit more Origins-y. Like I was thinking, if we wanted to thematically tie these could all literally be indie Souls likes because we've had this huge boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like Iter is coming out. That other one that is like Iter. There's one that's side scrolling and one that's kind of isometric.
Oh yeah, there were a bunch that were kind of like announced at E3 last year too. Yeah,
I could use that as an excuse to play more Dead Mouse if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. Like Dead Mouse is not bad, and that might have some changes by then. So there's just a lot of games that are like Soul. Neo. Like if we decide to do.
Oh shit, I forgot about Neo. Yeah,
there's like 1,000 Souls like games that came out.
Yeah.
But like I said, and I've said it like a bunch of times, like I don't want to end the show on like Lords of the Fallen 2.
No,
that would be a terrible ending. So after that, like assume we can probably just say it. Like I keep saying it like it's a fun secret. It's not a fun secret.
Yeah, it's
not.
Just the Omega Protocol. We've decided to do. Yeah,
it's not that shocking. Is that after we do all those, if there are no more Souls games in sight, we're going to do a victory lap around Dark Souls 1.
Right.
So do like 4 or 5 episodes, replay it. Both of us have like kind of our favorite guests on that we've had, have a couple guests, and then just kind of reflect on the whole thing and the game that brought us there. Yeah. And then end with the beginning of the cycle again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, that is a good plan. I'm worried about what happens to our network when we get there.
Yeah. Well, that's when we immediately pull the Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
regardless of stretch goal. Like, I mean, if we get there ahead of time, great. We do both. It's fantastic. If we run out of that, then we just pull a big lever and usher in a bunch of Final Fantasy fans.
Yep.
Because I mean, it's not like we couldn't just do like Order of Ecclesia or go back and do all the Kingsfields and stuff like that. But I think that would be like a slow death for things. That feels like I think people would leave as Soul stuff, like because not all Soul fans are interested in Souls game predecessors like we are. Yeah. So that seems like that would be like and to put this all in perspective, this is years. Like down the road, because we have going through Dark Souls 3 DLCs will go at least until this point next year, maybe a little bit sooner, but it's like a year from now.
Like Dark Souls 3 is going to end in Q1 of 2017. So.
Yeah. So, and then we have the DLCs. There'll be 3 of them. They'll be sizable. And then we have all of those like Souls likes. So we've got a while to go through, but it is in sight if there's not a Bloodborne 2 announced.
Right. And that kind of changes a bunch of stuff. There might be room for another origin series or something like that. Like
Yeah.
there's plenty of kindling, and I mean like we've been in a similar situation of this. Like at the as Dark Souls 2 was kind of like approaching, we had no idea if there was going to be anything after that until like kind of those first gifs of what was then called Project Beast came out, like
Yeah.
there's every possibility in the world that we're just going to be doing this same thing forever.
It 100%. Like they can say, like I know that Miyazaki's been said that he doesn't want to do them anything, and for now I'm operating as if that's true. But it is so hard for me to imagine companies turning down boatloads of money.
Right.
And when Sony's like, "Hey, we own the rights to Bloodborne, and it was a huge hit. We could make a Bloodborne 2. We'll give you this much money to do it." Like it may not be very good,
Mhm.
but I think there's still a chance it would happen just because of money. People like their currency, so like I don't know. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just have to take that on a case by case kind of thing. Who knows? Like E3 is next week.
Yeah, exactly. We could. I mean, yeah. The video games aren't like a place for like principled stances like that.
No,
Where
they're
people
not.
are just, that's not a medium that happens sometimes with movies or music where someone's like, no, I'm not going to make I'm not going to make a sequel to this. I want to do something new. You end up with stuff like Neil Young, like tanking his contract, like making unlistenable like records. You don't run into that kind of stuff with games. Like games are as much as I want to divorce them from it, are like a really powerfully commercial medium, like, and are really tied up in that. So,
Yep.
yeah, which will benefit the show because I want more Souls games. Even like as frustrated as I got with specifically Dark Souls 3, if they just like made the same basic mechanic, like did another Bloodborne, even if it wasn't Bloodborne 2, but did another twist on this stuff, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be over the moon. So
yeah, I mean, like even if so imagine Miyazaki says like, "Hey, we're not doing this anymore," and somebody else kind of steps in. We're going to lose the Miyazaki touch, but we're still going to get like good ideas.
Yeah.
Like but possibly like there's still there's still a possibility for that. Like I don't want to discount or like even bring in the discussion of like at what point does this stop being Souls. I think that
If
we're
it's
gonna
still like a from game with stamina based, over the shoulder, like if it still feels like Souls, like I'm not gonna be like this doesn't count because of Miyazaki, because it was never really about, like, at this point we've covered like roughly out of the games we've done, he's been involved in half of them. Really,
yeah
like he's involved in 3 but came in pretty late. It's kind of coming to to light, so like he's been heavily involved, like the principal person behind about half of them.
right.
And the ones that he hasn't been, like, are also games I really love, so I have no real issues with that.
Yeah,
No.
we're not kind of bound to that hagiography,
Yeah.
Like, it's just we're gonna know it when we see it, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and from a, I mean, I'll just say this: it does make me feel great to say it, but like, it is a lucrative show for the network. Like, it is
Yeah.
a good idea for us to continue kind of like following this, and trying to find new ideas and approaches around it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I don't want it to sleepwalk its way to death,
Nope.
because we can put something else in its place. But if it's still going, I'm also like, I'm gonna play those games anyway.
Yeah.
So I may as well like talk about them and examine them. Like,
Did you ever play the Neo Alpha?
nah, I didn't. I missed it.
Yeah, it was dire.
Yeah.
I
Really?
hope they fix it. Yeah, like the difficulty balance was completely off.
I've watched some YouTube like examinations of it and heard kind of mixed things, but
Yep.
most of it I've heard has been kind of negative.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's hopefully, I mean, it's an alpha. Like hopefully they can fix those things.
Yep. And that's probably why they ran it. Like
Yeah.
this stuff can change. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is so easy for that kind of basic gameplay thing to give me like my required amount of pleasure to move on.
Yeah.
Like as somebody who I like played Lords of the Fallen twice. Like I don't, I like once for the show and once on my own, and like I was like, oh, it's like a C plus. Like I got some enjoyment out of it.
Mhm.
As much as like the hashtag Gary hates Dark Souls 3, like it's still one of my favorite things to play.
Yeah.
That gameplay style will always get me coming back. So
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna chase nines. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's not our thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Kind of a counterpart to this. Sam, writes, "Oh, do you think that there will ever be a point where you're done hearing about Dark Souls?"
Where when it stops happening, or whether I'm like fed up with it, probably is what.
Yeah, just kind of like done. Like I feel like I kind of know I'm not going to seek this stuff out anymore. It starts becoming annoying.
I don't know. What do you think, Cole?
I'm never going to say never,
Yeah,
like,
Infinity's a long time.
yeah,
Like,
like I feel like around the time the backlash on Dark Souls 2 was happening, I felt really alienated from a large portion of the Souls fan base, like I was really with it in the swell and kind of like afterglow of Dark Souls 1 for 2 years, and I think that like that kind of made me like, oh, I just need to like start paying attention to different things, or just really focus on my own, kind of like view of this,
mhm.
stuff like that. And that's been fine. You can always choose what to, what to pay attention to. And like, Heat Death of the Universe, right? They could just really start suck at making these games. And it's like, well, okay, we're going to write it off. But that goes
Yeah,
into the, we don't want to sleepwalk out of this kind of thing, right?
yeah, yeah. It's. I'm not obviously not done hearing about it. I think that one thing that has happened in with Dark Souls 3 is that with this game, and I think it's a property of the game, not of the fandom. Um, I've heard more like batshit bonkers theories that have no support about 3 than I have any other game in the theory
Hmm.
or in the series, which has gotten mildly like eye rolly, but not so much that I don't want to read them.
Right.
So it's like it hasn't gotten to that point now. I've heard more things about Dark Souls 3 where I'm like, you're it's and what it is what I think it is people bringing Dark Souls 1 kind of like a rubric to Dark Souls 3.
Hmm.
Like, oh, like this literally has to mean something because they don't do that because they didn't do it before. And I'm like, I think that the way that the story is told in 3 is a real different beast.
Yeah.
For better and for worse. Mostly for worse, but like but there are some things that it does really well.
Yeah.
And so it's caused people to just be like, no, this can't not mean anything. Like there can be no, I can't remember what it was. I was watching some kind of YouTube criticism thing, and some guy brought up the point that I really love. He wasn't talking about Dark Souls. He was talking about Fallout, I think. But he was saying how when you're a fan of something, there is an urge to believe that there are no such things as accidents in that thing.
That's like
And that's what
yeah.
I've been beating that drum since Dark Souls 1 that like, oh, I mean, this could just be something that was cool and happened on accident.
Yeah.
Because that's the way the creative process works.
Mhm.
Like for everybody,
Yeah.
like everybody, like genius level people will admit that and talk about how things happen on accident in the process. And like, it just, you went with it because it was cool. And
Yeah.
those are blessings. Like you should love that when that happens. That's, that's the universe telling you you're great.
Hmm.
But when from the outside, there's no way to know the difference between those things and the things that are intentional. So you conflate the two, like, oh, there's no evidence for this, but it can't be an accident. Like this can't be a dangling thing.
Yeah.
There's no room for that. So I have to kind of contort and like put some thread on the wall and go real crazy to get this interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And like, it hasn't made me mad or not want to hear about Dark Souls. I've just gotten a little bit like, guys, I don't think that's what's going on.
Yeah. The signal to noise ratio gets a little bit weird,
Yeah. So I'm not sick of it with Souls in general. I think that the way Dark Souls 3 coming with all the expectations of the entire series, plus the way Dark Souls 3 is kind of structured, has lent itself to that.
Yeah.
Which is not my favorite thing because it just puts me in a position of being like, okay. And then it ends the conversation because there's nothing there it's not a smoking gun. Like it doesn't add anything to the story. It's just kind of like this, what if this person was this person's brother? It's like, well, maybe,
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's pretty good headcanon.
Yeah, it's exactly. And I don't want to take anyone's headcanon away.
Yeah.
It's just like, my appetite for discussing headcanon is mildly limited, with nothing to anchor it.
Yeah. It's like the whole there can't be any accidents thing. It's like a different version of it's a more trivial version of the just world fallacy.
Yeah.
Like everything has to, Yeah,
mouse.
the just Miyazaki mouse. Just insofar as I will only play games, it's just Miyazaki.
Yeah, just like he's literally the only person who can do this. And the things that are good are 100% him, and the things that are bad are 100% not. And he is incapable of making happy accidents.
Yeah. No, I love happy accidents.
That's
'Cause they're
the
happy.
best.
Yeah.
Like any like if you want to see like a genre where that stuff happens all the time, it's music. Like
Mhm.
if you read like interviews with a lot of musicians, I can't point to tons of examples, but as somebody who has like read about bands I like, you read about this a lot in like long interviews and kind of tales of how an album is made.
Mhm.
You know, like, oh, like we recorded the drums in this room and there was a problem with the paneling, but then when we heard it, it sounded awesome. So it wasn't like this perfect sound chamber that we were trying to build. We decided to go for it. And then some of your favorite things in music, you know, those little really distinctive sounds are accidents.
Yeah.
You know, and that is, I feel like that's true of most art.
Yeah. Roll with it is a magical phrase.
Yeah. You know,
It
it's
really
one of the like those Brian, you know, like oblique strategy things.
Yep.
It's just like, you know, and then that's and to think that that doesn't apply to Dark Souls, I think is why would that be the exception? Why take that away from something this great? You
I
know?
always feel a little bit like a douche for having the Oblique Strategies app or an Oblique
Yeah.
Strategies app on my front page of my phone, but like that is so fucking useful.
It's the best. It is like one of the, you know, anybody else would be my favorite thing they did.
Yeah.
You know.
But
So
it's Brian Eno.
yeah, who's done like tons of favorite things I've done. Or I like favorite things of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Elias writes in asking about some comic stuff. Have any of you read any of the Hellblazer John Constantine Vertigo series? If so, what is your favorite run? Mine is Garth Ennis's take on Hellblazer and what it does with the treatment of hell and the devil. Gary, have you read any of these before I go on this?
I read the first couple trades of the old the ones where he has cancer, and it's about him like getting out of the bargain he made to give up his soul when he finds out he has lung cancer. But those are the only Hellblazer things I've read, and I think I think it's the same run. But if I'm wrong, it's because I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was Garth Ennis, but maybe it is. It predates him. Yeah, I can't remember who he is that, but those are the only ones I've read. And it's been a long time.
Yeah. I have not read them. I've seen the preview for the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie.
I've seen that.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, not great. Yeah, that is Garth Ennis. Dangerous Habits.
Okay.
So,
Round about like what's like when was that published?
boy, let me pull that back up. That was published in 1991, so early 90s Vertigo stuff. Good time for Vertigo. Yeah, and I've read a couple of the trades that were before this as well. Yeah, but
cool. Let's see here. Adam writes, when and why did spoilers for Souls games become a bigger deal for you guys? I'm late to this whole Souls game thing, and I'm currently playing Demon Souls and listening to Bonfireside Chat. In a recent episode for Adam, Gary said that Souls games can't really be spoiled by visual media and small pieces of info from demos. And small pieces of info from demos as everything substantial about a game, a Souls game, is more hidden than that. This seems like a drastic change from the difficulty and pains I know both of you took in avoiding spoilers for Dark Souls 3.
I think the reason why, so I just changed my mind, I think. And the reason why is because I got to go through a launch, like for Dark Souls 1 and 2, or Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, it had already been out. You know, so the information was there, and that's way harder to avoid than trailer stuff. But even Dark Souls 2, I went in blind. So every Souls game that I have been available to do so, I've gone in blind for.
Yeah. I think that there's something to be said for like the more you know about something or a series, the bigger importance that the more import a small piece of information will have. Like even something like an area name, and God, Dark Souls 3 is full of them. Like you hear that and then something crystallizes around it. And like that is a pretty big deal. Same thing with boss names and things like that. I think that the stakes get higher as you get more
Yeah.
invested, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also that's as that time moved on was when the series became important enough to me where I started thinking in terms of like, excuse me, I've said this a bunch of times where like, how many of these am I going to get?
Yep.
You know, in my lifetime before I die. So if I can make the experience really cool and special, I owe it to myself to do so because I'm only going to get 3 of them. It's possible I only got 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know, lifetime 3. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, change our minds.
Yeah, change my mind, and then also just kind of changed as a person in my perspective to things.
Yeah, 3 years is a long time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of not, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're engaging with it as frequently as we do.
Yep.
Yeah, or as anybody does. You know, I imagine a lot of people's attitude changed as well. Zachary writes, with the Soul series supposedly at its end and rumors that From Software is working on some new projects, what genre games would you most like to see? I'd be most excited if they could somehow bring the Souls touch to a sci-fi world. Shadowrun Souls?
Ooh.
Hmm?
That'd be cool.
Be still Gary's heart.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that's not really like that's a new like not a different gameplay genre. It's like a different setting genre.
Yeah.
Like if they were going to do another thing like that, if they were going to do a different setting, I would love to see sci-fi.
Mhm.
If they were going to do an actual new gameplay thing, and the cop out answer is like I would love them to do, like I would love a modern From first person RPG.
Yeah.
That'd be really great. Like it can be done. First person RPGs are incredibly popular.
Mhm.
You know, so it's not like market suicide, but to do something that had like kind of immersion that comes with like a first person Skyrim kind of thing, but with actual thought out mechanics and stuff would be amazing. Like in a really dense kind of experience as opposed to a real like loosey goosey one.
Yep.
I think that'd be cool.
Yep. I'd like to see them revisit Echo Knight.
That'd be really great.
Yeah.
I'd be way into that.
Love to
Yeah.
see that. They've already done like the gothic horror kind of thing. They've done futuristic horror with Echo Knight Beyond. It'd be great to see them do like a more modern kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of like in present day. Yeah, that would be my go-to, like as far as abandoned from kind of things. And you know, I think that notably we're not saying Armored Core, just because neither of us have an awful lot of experience with that.
Yeah. I have one of them on my PSP that I have not played. One of them was on Super Sale. So it's like I always mean to try that series, but I just haven't gotten a chance to.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
So it's like I have that feeling of like, am I doing the best one?
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm only gonna try one of these, it's like, and that's can be kind of silly, but also they're complicated, crunchy games. So
Tim writes, what are some recent non-video game sleeper hits for you guys? Music, movies, TV shows, books, etc., that you didn't hear much about or expect much from that ended up impressing you? This is hard.
Yeah. I will do kind of one. I think I may have mentioned this before on the show, so it's kind of a cop out. But I don't watch a lot of TV or movies, and like I've been keeping up on big superhero movies because I like those, but I haven't seen anything else in the way of that. And I don't really watch TV. Like if I watch TV, I watch Game of Thrones once a week, and I watch Cutthroat Kitchen with my girlfriend, and that's about it. I just don't don't do that very much. Book wise, I was surprised by how much I liked Rat Queens, which I think I've talked about, but that's a comic that the third trade just came out and is about, it is like in a light kind of D&D-esque world with 4 super badass ladies who are a part of like a guild, and it's kind of self-aware and kind of funny, story about cool D&D shit. But it kind of sucks though, because the third trade came out and then there was some kind of controversy with the artist who is like got charged for sexual harassment, and the company took his side, or the writer took his side, or there's some kind of thing that's kind of gross about supporting it in the future. So the first 3 trades I was into and didn't have that. And then now I need to actually do some research and figure out if it's like, if I feel good giving those guys money anymore.
Right.
But I didn't expect anything of it, because I was expecting it to be like in Dragon Magazine, they have those like Knights of the Dinner Table, like D&D humor based on D&D stuff doesn't always work for me, unless it's like that Dead Ales Wives sketch. So I was surprised by how much I liked it.
Yeah. You've talked about the Rat Queens thing before. That's a bummer that if I got into it now, I might be supporting somebody with a questionable.
Yeah,
past.
do some research. Check it out first,
Yeah.
before you take my word for it. So,
Yeah. In terms of TV, I've talked about this in the past on the show, but The Leftovers is something that I haven't really heard that much about. Like for a HBO show, it doesn't really get an awful lot of like press. I think it even just got canceled after its second season. Too. It's by the guy, one of the guys behind Lost, which is a mark kind of against it. But has Justin Theroux in it. That's the one where like 2% of the population just up and disappears, and the entire show is about like the ramifications of that and like the weird cults and the survivors that kind of like come up in the wake of something that is just that weird and strange. Just like it's something that I heard about on a couple of podcasts, and I was like, well, I've got HBO now, I'll try this, and it ended up really kind of pulling me in.
yeah.
Yep.
Is that like the first season wrapped up, or is it still going on?
The second season wrapped a little while ago. There's not going to be a third one. So, yep. Let's see here. Sword Sage. There we go. Writes, what do you think the DLC for Dark Souls 3 will cover story-wise? Oh, late breaking news. Leftovers was renewed for a third and final season. So we're going to get some resolution. Sorry. Thank you. Somebody did that as in a DM. Continuing with this, what do you think the DLC for Dark Souls 3 will cover story?
That was in a DM and not like just in the public. Hey Cole,
hey Cole, we want you to have these leftover secrets.
Yeah, like you could just so you could announce it like it just came to you.
I'm not going to take credit for somebody else paying more attention than me.
Like you should have like pulled a note from all. Like you should have like done like a. Oh,
like,
okay.
Wait a minute. Oh,
wait, I'm getting a little.
Hey, what have we got?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Jeez, John Lostman just told me that Leftovers is back.
John Lostman, one of the Lost Boys, told me.
Yeah. I just got this message from one of the Lost Boys. Leftovers is back, baby.
Continuing with this, what do we think the Dark Souls 3 DLC will cover story-wise? Personally, I'm really hoping to get at least a little bit more about Velka. Having just a statue of her is not enough. More tidbits about the primordial serpents, or possibly going to what happened at Astoria would also be good. Or maybe even touching on the Dark Souls 2 giants and how they fit into everything. That would be great to see.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd love to go to some of these different kingdoms that we hear about. Like, I think it's inevitable that we're going to go to Londor. For one of them. It would be cool to hear about Astora, and just, god damn it, I want some Dark Souls 2 shit in there. Please.
Yeah.
Please. I don't know if like that's what I think. That's just what I hope.
Yeah. Well, there are 3 of them. They should, throw us a bone. I think Sable Church of Londor has to be expanded upon. Like I'm trying to think of what things have to be done to square the circle and like make the story make more sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Londor has to be visited. Given that how much Dark Souls 3 quotes Dark Souls 1, I'm very scared of like an Artorias of the Abyss retread kind of thing.
Oh man.
Like that's my fear. So that's my, the thing I really don't want to see. But like, as much, I love Artorias of the Abyss, but like, I don't need to go
fight. Been there. We've already done that.
Yeah, I don't need to fight the old Abyss Walker. Go into a thing and just have an Artorias with remixed moves. Even if it's a really cool fight, I just don't want that. So I think Sable Church of Londor. I would love to see Dring Lake stuff, and then I would love to see like Age of the Deep Sea stuff is my dream, but I feel like that's a dangling thing from an earlier iteration of the game.
Like an aborted kind of thing?
Yeah. I think that they originally, when this was a turning point, I think we would have had some stuff that go into the Age of the Deep Sea things. I don't think it's a Bloodborne reference. I don't think it's just the Age of Dark.
Right.
Because like sea makes it really cool. If fire, if darkness is the opposite of fire, like water is also the opposite of fire. Like that's a really cool idea for them. If somebody were to break the cycle, to move into a new age. Like, I would love to see if they ever do a new Dark Souls, or if they touch on the DLC, I would love to see a Dark Souls that has nothing to do with fire or flame, or like, just like had this kind of newness to it, because we're no longer part of those ages.
Yeah.
And that would have been if they would have done like Dark Souls 4 and 5, and that would have been what happened. I would have been pretty into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just look at different elemental stuff. I mean, that's part of what I love about Dark Souls 1 is just like the way it explores those different elements,
yeah.
and just kind of like
And,
the corrupting extent of the extremes of them,
and as much as people like, as much as I love Bloodborne, but as much as like there were things I don't love about Bloodborne, playing Dark Souls 3 made me appreciate it more because it is in like it feels like a different age. Like it does feel like this is what the company could do if it like isn't trying to do. Like I really wanted to go back to Dark Souls because I love castles and dragons more than I love guns and fedoras. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see it go. I would love to see the DLC go to like a different age like that. Like I had this idea, Cole, when I was talking about Dark Souls endings in the Slack channel. Can you imagine if like the break the cycle ending, it wouldn't even, you'd only have to show it for a second, but if the ending was just the character walking through a populated city?
like modern day, like Chrono Cross kind of
Oh,
thing.
no. I mean, that would be like that one episode of The Simpsons, like they get teleported to our world. No, just like here's oh hey, like this is what the world looks like when it's alive, and then just like that would have been awesome. Like that would have meant a lot, given that we never see that.
Yeah.
Like oh here is a world that's functional. Like that would, in some ways that would be even though it wouldn't be bleak enough to go with what they usually do for this series. Like in some way, like many ways, would be the most shocking thing that like oh there's more than like 3 conscious people in the city.
Yeah, turn it into Souls Creed.
Yeah, there we go.
Sound Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's I don't know. I would love to see them do something that is like if Dark Souls did continue. This is a really Dark Souls heavy episode. I'm sorry for people who aren't into that. If Dark Souls did continue, if they did like a Kingsfield to Shadow Tower kind of jump, where it was kind of in a different age, but it was still informed by some of those things. I don't know if you could do that and still have it be kind of the same thing. I'm not so down with just kind of the purity of the message to like immediately react against that. But
yeah.
Let's see here. Mikhail writes, if you could be the Roger Clinton of any celebrity family, what would it be?
I have to look up who Roger Clinton is.
I think he might be Bill's brother.
Oh yeah, millennials, meet Roger Clinton, Hillary's brother-in-law, who got arrested once again 11 hours ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like he's like Billy Bear. It's like yeah.
If you were not going to reference Billy Carter, I was going to. So
now that can you repeat the question now that I know who that is?
So if you could be the Roger Clinton to any celebrity family, well, like which would it be?
Okay, so it'd be like the hard drinking, like idiot brother to a successful.
The ne'er-do-well, like the one who's like kind of dragging them down.
Oh, that's a good question.
The obvious jokey answer for us is Shaq.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want Shaq's respect more than that. Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
I would like that if it was step 1 in Shaq rehabilitating me. Like where that story needs to start is at rock bottom with Shaq bailing me out of jail and then putting me in a program and visiting me once a day to like make sure I'm doing good.
Healing your soul through the power of basketball.
Yeah. Like, and eventually I get pretty good at basketball and he gets pretty good at living a little bit more free. Because in some ways we have a lot of things to teach each other.
Yep. Oh, here's this. Elon Musk.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I feel like you're in that family, you're gonna get a little bit of money. If you cause enough trouble for him, you're gonna get a lot of hush money. And you're probably going to hear about like cool cars and shit.
I keep thinking about like people who I'd want to embarrass, but who wouldn't have me shadow killed. Because like
I think Elon Musk is right on the edge. Actually,
yeah, he's pretty good. Because like you could say Trump, because you want to damage his chances. Like that's the way you could do the most good. It's just like, hey, my name's Trump, and I'm jerking off into a fountain. Fuck this guy. He can't be president. But then he just has somebody murder you, and that's the end of your story. Yeah. Like somebody who's bad for the world, but not evil on an interpersonal level. That's hard. That's a hard balance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Elon Musk is right on the edge. Yeah. Hate to make it all about money, but like if I'm going to be the ne'er-do-well, I need to like if my own personal name is going to be down the tubes. Then I'm going to I'm going to try and get something out of it.
Yeah. I would want money as well.
Fletcher writes, What will it take to get you to pull the trigger and do a full ASMR episode of the show? Bonus points. What gimmick would you want to add to that? Because clearly it's not official enough unless you caress 10 fabric or something else for extra tingles.
What show?
It would have to be Abject Suffering, right?
Yeah, like it could just be like be real flushing some shit down the toilet if we did the like bonfire set chat ASMR episode. Like, fuck you people who don't listen to our other shows. This is the in-joke from the thing you don't care about.
Yeah. Oh, here's what I would do. So for the gimmick, it would be so I would print out copies of Chuck Tingle's work
Mm.
and then like just them into the mic.
Yeah.
Chuck Tingle being the pounded in my ass by my own ass guy.
Yeah. I'm gonna read those books are oftentimes really cheap. Like I'm gonna read one of those sometime. Because like why wouldn't I? Like and also he seems like I like him.
Yeah.
Like looking at his Twitter presence and stuff, like I think I like that dude.
Yeah, his response to Gamergators and people of their ilk getting him nominated for a Hugo was to send Zoe Quinn to accept the award.
Pretty great, like pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And also just like there's the one he has that's like pounded in the ass by my own reaction to a Chuck Tingle book title or something like that.
Yep.
Like it's just getting so weird and keeps zooming out, you know, in ways that I wouldn't have expected or thought of.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that. I can't think of anything better than that.
Yeah.
As far as what it would take, I would have to do a lot of research because I don't know what, other than just like noises, like I don't know enough about it still. I know what it is, but I don't know how to create it.
There's a fantastic video that was done by one of the Stop Podcasting Yourself guys who he was doing an ASMR studio tour.
Okay.
And it was him, like he was holding a handy cam, and like from his perspective, he was going around saying like, and this is my microphone cover, and then like scratching everything, and it was pretty funny. It might be something like that. That'd be good video content.
Those guys are great.
Yep. I don't know what it would take. I don't know what it would take to get us to do it. Like I would not put a monetary award on that because I would feel bad taking money for something that like
for very few people.
Yep. Yeah. Also, I wouldn't want to. It'd be kind of like a chef with no sense of taste cooking for people who could taste.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel it. It's kind of like this is going to be like the shittiest ASMR content you've ever had, guys.
Speaking of that, rather than doing that as a stretch goal, sometime like DuckCon 1 or 2 or something like that, we should do a tiny shitty version of Cutthroat Kitchen where the goal is just to make food that is edible at all. Because none of us can cook, but we still have to go through this dumb shit. And then if we can make a thing that doesn't make anybody want to puke, like done and done.
That'd be the like that's the actual stretch goal I think we've been working toward is the Cutthroat Kitchen cast.
Yeah, or Cutthroat Kitchen experience.
Yep.
Like the Cutthroat Kitchen live action ride.
Come watch us. Who would judge?
Oh, I don't know. Like that could be a stretch goal itself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here, eat this poison I made for you out of crushed up Cheez-Its.
Yeah, on accident. I'm sorry to accidentally poison you, Jolly Apprentice.
Oh man, speaking of Jala, what games have you played for Abject Suffering that surprised you the most? And how did it exceed or fail to meet your expectations?
Nothing I thought was going to be good turned out to be bad, or that was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a mild surprise, but not a big surprise.
Yeah,
that's on the show for some reason. I think the Bible quiz is the most surprising thing.
Oh yeah, the Angel Quiz and Zoo Race. Yeah, that
Zoo Race thing was really surprising and great.
Yeah. That's like when you're walking through a parking lot and you think, hey, this is going to be a shallow puddle, but you end up like submerged up to the middle of your ankle. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't suck. Like that was genuinely one of the happiest moments of like, if not that year, that month.
Yeah, that's the expecting water and drinking Coke.
Yep.
Of like podcasts or vice versa. That was, and then quality wise, like the weird, every once in a while we'll run into something we never heard of before, like whatever that PC JRPG horror themed JRPG was that we did.
Oh, Don't Go Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome. That was a surprise because I never heard of it before. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty badass. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm always surprised when we get a grappling hook game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's always something. Like I think like Home Improvement, not to go like 3 years back, but like that was a big one for me.
Yeah, that was surprising. I had no indication that would actually be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm not going to go into like what meta stuff around this surprised me the most. Like, well, I will say that the crazy conservative ranting in the Ill Bleed episode, that was delightful.
Yeah, that was also surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. David writes, have you ever considered bringing back Watch Out for Lens Flare specials once or twice a year to allow yourself more time to play something more recent? I know it's been mentioned before that time to play big releases can be rough to fit around all the games that you have to play for the network. And since any game released on anything newer than an Amiga 64 isn't really retro anyway, wink, wink, I don't think it would do any harm.
Yeah, I think that would work game backwards. Like, I think if a game came out that both you and I really wanted to play,
Yep.
We would justify it after that rather than like come up with a slot for it.
Yeah. I think Watch Out for Lens Flare was like a weird product of its kind of like its time. That was like what, 13 going into 14, maybe?
Yeah.
And that coincided with the Kickstarter, obviously. And that also kind of coincided with like there's a bunch of like recent Xbox 360 games that we want to cover, right? Like Dishonored came out like a year and a half before we covered it.
Mm-hmm.
But like now so much that's on the 360 and PS3, like that generation is coverable, right? Like we don't have any real compunction about that, and changing attitudes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to know because like I just don't get that excited about stuff. Like the recent game that I've gotten most kind of jazzed about is like Uncharted 4, but like for the show I'd rather like have you play Uncharted 2,
which we could do for WAF, if not now, if we wait, we wait long enough, we do that. Yeah. And then the other thing too, like I don't have that feeling of like talk pregnancy about that much stuff. Like the only thing that like I can think of that I haven't gotten a chance to like chat about on a show that I would like to is Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Mostly because then I end up in the position where every Fallout game except for Fallout Tactics, like, I've put my podcast into a stone tablet, or put my opinions into a stone tablet on, which I would like to do.
Yeah.
So like that would be like the one thing, and someday maybe that will happen. It doesn't have watch out for chromatic aberrations real good. That's a nice name. So I'd like to do that at some point in some capacity, but it would just but we could do that as a bonus level too.
Yeah, it could be out there, and we could just like put it on a page of like the Fallout suite, like between like Deus Ex and like Fallout and like a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff. It might make sense to start making like franchise pages almost.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wouldn't like, speaking of which too, like I don't know, eventually this will become WAF material and everything, but playing Invisible War really did make me want to play Human Revolution again as well.
Oh yeah, like I'd be down for that.
Yeah, because that's really good. But there's not so much new stuff right now going on that like before we started recording questions, like I talked about what games I'm kind of playing now that are not for shows, and it's like all old shit. There's not a lot of new stuff right now I'm like super interested in. I'd really like to play Doom, but I don't want to spend $60 on it. Jeremy Greer was just kind enough to gift me The Witcher 3, which I'm going to start playing.
Oh, cool.
And then other than that, like not a whole lot of new stuff I'm that interested in.
Let me know when you start playing The Witcher 3 because I have that.
I really want to play it. I've been trying to kill the instinct in my body to play the first two. And The Witcher, like this will make as a Mass Effect fan, I bounced off of The Witcher 1 the same way I bounced off of Mass Effect. So it's not just modern BioWare that like kills me with that stuff. Like I played the first 10 hours of both those games a couple times and stopped. So but I was like, oh man, I got to get through it. I'll just go through it on don't do side quests and just get through it. And then it doesn't run very well on Windows 10. So I was like, I put it down. And I think I'm just going to skip it. And it makes me sad because there were cool things in it. And I've heard really good things about Witcher 2.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just going to skip to the new one.
I think so too. I think that is kind of just like a playability concern more than anything.
I'm really excited. Like everyone goes apeshit for it. It won tons of awards. Like people are like, oh, this is the computer RPG, like the big budget computer RPG that, we want this year.
Yeah.
This is a good one. So
and people that I trust go apeshit for it, like not just people in the network, like Allison, and Jeremy, but also like, it is a weekly topic of discussion. In like on Idle Weekend, like Danielle Rando and Rob Zachney, like like People I dig it, and it's like I feel increasingly remiss that I haven't played it. I think the recent release of the final like expansion makes me more apt to like, okay, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yep. But yeah, it's weird. Like maybe I don't know. Like we'd probably do Dishonored 2 a little bit sooner than usual, if that's any good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the next, like, there aren't a lot of things coming out that I'm really excited for, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So I will play the shit out of Dishonored too. So
Yeah. Let's see here. Angus writes, I finished with Dark Souls 3 for now, and I would like your help deciding between New Vegas and Fallout 4. I played the main quest of New Vegas when it came out, and I enjoyed it, but I never touched the DLC. Fix that.
yeah, that'll be quicker too
Yeah.
than the entirety of Fallout 4. Like I am. Oh, I guess my hair is doing kind of a thing. That's funny.
Stick it straight up.
I ended up really liking Fallout 4, but it's long, and it is not as good as any of it's not as good as the top 3 New Vegas DLCs.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Fallout 4 is really good. You should still play it. It's just like if you feel like you want more of that afterwards.
Yeah, especially like before you get used to the quality of life enhancements.
Yeah.
Fallout 4, like go for it, I would say.
Yep. Yeah, that is 100% true. Yeah. Because it is a little bit hard to go back to the kind of stilted combat of the earlier entries.
Man, like, so I dipped my toe back into Fallout 4 a little bit. Nothing like appreciable, but like shooting stuff feels so good in that.
Yeah, it's actually like a really fun shooter.
Yeah.
That's the trick, is it's not a role playing game. Like, don't treat it like one.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah, probably a good like comparison, like Deus Ex to Deus Ex 2, Fallout 3 / New Vegas to this. Like,
it is not concerned with your choices or build or anything like that.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't, and those are my favorite things in the world, but it's still fun to explore. And it's also just really pretty. You go through a lot of really cool environments.
Yeah. I never realized that cram was supposed to be spam.
Oh yeah.
Until I saw the art for that.
I always thought it was a drug. Like we talked about it in the Fallout 3 one, because it's like, oh, you're gonna get crammed, and then I was like, oh, I kept all the cram, then realized I couldn't eat it for stat boost.
Let's hear. Chase writes, have either of you had a chance to play The Witcher 3? That is apropos. It's been a great companion game to Dark Souls 3, and the new DLC is excellent. Also, what is your favorite beer?
I think we talked about Witcher 3.
Yes, we have. I've played a little bit of it. I've gone through like the tutorial and like the first town, and that's all. I would like to.
I've not done anything. So,
favorite beers. So Dogfish Head makes a beer called Palo Santo Marron, which is it's fairly costly. It's like $15 for a 4-pack, but it's like 14% alcohol. Which isn't, that's just a nice side effect, but it is like one of the it's an ale that tastes like a stout, and it has like this really like rich syrupy depth of character to it. It is the most flavorful like non-IPA thing that I've drank. It's great.
My everyday beer is let me find the company that makes it. Not every day. I don't drink beer every day. Hold on one second. Excuse my Googling.
While you're doing that, right now I'm drinking Sam Adams Summer Ale because I like lemony beer, and I like to have something to drink so I can relax on camera.
My common beer, because I can buy it from convenience stores near my house, so if I'm just like, I need some beer, is Gilgamesh Brewing's Mamba beer, which is a beer that is infused with like black tea, and tastes good.
Sounds like a weird like version of like a coffee stout kind of thing, or
kind of, yeah, except with with like a lighter flavor. It's like black tea and then some kind of citrus, like maybe like a tangerine peel or something like that. And then as far as like all-time favorite beer, I love sour beers, but I get a variety of them. I don't have one. I go to places for that. And then same thing with German beers. Like there's a German bar and a sour beer bar, and my house is in the center of both of them.
Oh God, that's sour. Are you talking about Cascades?
Yeah, Cascade Brewing House. It's good, right?
Yeah, that sour beer bar is great.
Yeah. So I will go there, or I will go to Stammtisch, which is the German beer place, and go get Dunkels, which I love quite a bit.
I love a Doppelbock.
Yeah, I like a Doppelbock as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time you're in town, we should go to. I mean, we should go to Cascadia because it's great and it's close to the karaoke place. But we should also try to go to Stammtisch. I think you'll dig it.
Oh yeah, I love. I mean, just Cincinnati, man. Like we're a German town. Like Spaten flows like wine down here. So.
Yeah, it is. And it's super authentic. So much so that like if I get a pretzel there, aka a bretzel, they give you like you have 3 dips, and like one of them's honey mustard, or like not honey mustard, like a thick grainy mustard. Great. Mm-hmm. One of them is this kind of weird cheese spread thing that has a German name. It's really delicious.
It's like a beer cheese or what?
No, it's just like this kind of thick, kind of pimento-y looking cheese. It doesn't actually have pimentos in it, but it's kind of got that consistency. But then they give you this like rendered fat thing that I guess Germans dip pretzels in that is repulsive. So nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is very authentic. I went there yesterday, and my lady I'm seeing got rabbit.
Oh man,
rabbit before.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it's like you can get it's really good too. It's pretty tasty place. It's a good bar.
I should take you to Mecklenburg Garden. It is the oldest restaurant in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And like they have like a straight up beer garden outside that has like kind of like in city terms ancient grapevines growing over the roof to like provide shade cover. It is a wonderful place. It is hard to order anything less than a liter of beer there.
I like that too, and I love German food and German beer. Like Germany that's great.
Yes,
that's my jam.
Yeah. That's the end of the priority questions. We have about 12 minutes left before we hit the 90. Do we want to try the kind of Q&A ones?
Yeah, let's go through let's get through as many of those as we can.
Okay. So we've got Sean who writes in asking, is Deus Ex Human Revolution worth playing? I've started a couple times and it never really hooked me. But with the new one coming out soonish, I'm wondering if I should go give it another shot. I loved the first one, the first Deus Ex.
Yeah, I think if you like Deus Ex 1, you like Human Revolution if you get a little bit further into it.
Yep.
I mean, I would want more in like what made you bounce off of it, but it's, I think it's a really worthy, like that's a really good sequel. And people have written things that are like, hey, this is how you do a sequel. Yeah. And I think that's a really good example of like, this is how you update one of those old games. Mm-hmm. It came out like right after Dishonored came out, which updates Thief, and it was like this really good time for like taking all of those first-person Looking Glass Studios kind of games and doing modern, cool imaginings of them.
I feel bad correcting you, but Deus Ex Human Revolution was 2011, so it was even like a year and a half before Dishonored.
Oh, like around the same time in
was around the time of Dishonored. There we go.
Gotcha. Yeah. You don't have to feel bad. I don't. All those things. New. Like I don't play things when they're new ever, so like, or very rarely. So like years tend to blur together.
Yeah. I only know that because I checked out Human Revolution when I was still working at GameStop when I was living in my parents' basement. Mm-hmm. And that was the summer of 2011 before I got my job. And I bounced off of it because I think the first couple missions in that are kind of garbage.
Yeah, I don't. I've never had a problem getting into that. Even the boss fights, which suck, I didn't hate. Like I still went through them, and the director's cut fixes all of that, and it's really great.
Yeah.
I think so. And do the director's cut, which you can oftentimes find if you have the regular version, you'll get it for cheap. And then I've also seen the director's cut on sale for as little as $5.
Yep.
Do the director's cut, which fixes the boss fights and includes the DLC. And the DLC is actually really good. It's kind of positioned weirdly in the main game when you do the director's cut, but it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the games I feel bad about not having literacy about. Like I'm kind of worried going into Invisible War that I can't speak fluently about Human Revolution. But
you haven't beat Human Revolution?
I haven't beat it. No.
Really? Why have we not had this conversation?
We've had this conversation. We've talked about it.
Why don't I remember it? What happened to me?
It was in a different world line, Gary.
So we should definitely do that for WAF at some point. Because you should play it. It's really good. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see here. Are you guys excited for No Man's Sky? The underground hype train is off the rails, and I hope it delivers. It couldn't possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you.
Sorry.
There's literally no chance that will happen.
So yeah, that was probably a little bit flippant. So my flag went up when it was delayed and death threats were issued. I was going like,
Yeah.
whoa, we're never going to make these people happy. It's not just about that, but like, I'm pretty unclear on what the game actually is in that. Like, I
Well,
like,
they're on purpose about that. Like, it's so weird.
yeah,
They're just like, oh, old games didn't know what they were before they came out, and it's like, well, that is true. You know, what does that what bearing does it have on anything though? Like, you
right,
made a true statement that has nothing to do with your argument.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm really skeptical about it.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I don't the procedural thing, like the fact that it is random, that is such a red flag for me.
yeah. It just
You know?
means this is going to be just pure static.
Like, a lot of boring planets to explore.
Yeah,
Like, you're, you know, if your thing is like, and this is your thing, like, hey, I want to have a spaceship and just fly around, like a big infinite universe, like this will probably deliver that. It's just what's inside the universe I'm very suspect about.
yeah.
And maybe I'll be wrong, but like, I feel like the fact that it's, you know, random makes it much more likely that you're going to get a lot of boring planets.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think that I mean, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to sound like shitty, like, oh, you'll figure it out when you're older. But like, I think everybody goes through a spore,
Yeah.
you know, and this is tripping some really heavy spore flags for me. So
It does feel a lot like Spore. I would love to be wrong.
Yep.
You know, and I would love it for it to be good. It's not like I want it to be bad. I have no vested interest in these guys. And the fact that they got death threats is obviously like repulsive and disgusting.
Yeah.
And you know, you should be happy when games get delayed, because it means they're making the right choice. You know, the developers doing their good thing.
It's like 2 months.
Yeah, and it's nothing. Like, that was
So
obviously
much good stuff coming out. Like, come on, man.
but my worry about it being delayed is like, maybe they were like, hey, this isn't very fun.
Yeah.
And they're not going to fix that in 2 months, because maybe the concept of going to a randomly generated planet is not fun.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah. I said on this week's level, like No Man's Sky just kind of seems like the console version of Star Citizen to me. a little
yeah,
bit. Like, I don't know, I just don't get it. And like that is, you know, there's an 85% that's just ignorance on my part, but
yeah, it depends on your values. Like, if that's just literally, that's your thing. It's like, I need to explore a universe in a spaceship.
Yeah.
That's 100% my thing.
Mhm.
And, you know, I can see the appeal, but that's not 100% my thing.
good on you, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And so we've got the last question. This is Jeremy Greer. Hi, Jeremy. And it says, hey, y'all. Z Chocobo and Slack pointed
He's
out.
on brand.
Yeah, Z Chocobo and Slack pointed out that the Honest Trailers guys have an interview with the people that created X-Men the animated series. I've watched the first 20 minutes and it's pretty interesting so far. Should I pirate it and and host it on my own YouTube? I don't know if you should pirate it.
Do you have to pirate it? Like, is it like behind a Patreon paywall or something?
If it is, absolutely not. I don't know who the Honest Trailer guys are.
I mean, I know what Honest Trailers are. It is like a YouTube channel that does like, here is the making fun of version of the trailer that actually does this kind of thing. And they're slightly less, like, they're better than the CinemaSins guys who do something kind of similar.
Yep.
Like, they're funnier and less obnoxious. And they did one about the animated series, and it was good. And I didn't know about this interview, and that's pretty rad. But if you have to pirate it if it's behind a Patreon paywall, don't do that.
Yep.
But I am curious about it. I would like to. You should at least take that knowledge into Days of Futurecast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, both of you can probably look at that. There's like I'm seeing a 5-minute video on YouTube about it. Like, I don't know, like you say, in the first 20 minutes, it may be more extensive than that. But like, I don't know, that seems like something that it's good to know about.
But now Jeremy's saying it was a joke, so I don't even know what's real.
Yeah. Oh God.
So,
yeah. Jeremy, don't
what
play with us. I was about ready to do like an after school special on you, man. Was that Yoshi's asshole?
Yeah, that was Yoshi just spitting out a poop-filled egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about that lie, is it's such a perfect lie, because it has such a nugget of truth to it. In that, like, I knew that they had just done one on the animated series, so it's like, oh, if they did an interview, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the video is real. Jeremy, you're in too deep.
Yeah. Also good and also behind a paywall. Wait a
Okay,
second. Pirating
so
part was a joke. The
everything
video
was true. He was just asking if he should pirate it as a joke.
Yeah, like, or is it?
The hilarious answer to your joke is no. Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. It is hard to tell what's a joke.
Yes, text blindness, internet tone.
It's okay. We still love you.
Yep.
Done
Oh
fucked
god,
up.
this whole thing is terrible and bad. I don't understand.
Like,
Yeah.
it's all right. You just gotta admit when you fucked up.
But yeah, Honest Trailers, X-Men the Animated Series. Also, go to Duckfeed Presents and check out the pilot for Days of Future Cast.
Yeah. Would be great to make that show.
Yeah, would.
That would be. I would think that was very fun. I mean, Jeremy, I've like kind of talked about X-Men Apocalypse, but I'd like to do it more. So
yeah. Cool. That's all the questions. Let me check and make sure there's nothing else in the priority. While we still have a minute or so, but as we're heading out, I want to thank everybody for watching. Everybody who tuned in live.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll be back next month. Thanks for rolling with us, doing a little bit earlier. I know this is like a last half of the month thing, but like we're getting ready to do like vacations. Gary's doing one, and I'm doing one. So
we're going on vacay.
Yeah.
So we will see you in a little bit more than a month, probably.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, cool. Be safe, everybody. I think that's all.
Good night.
Bye.